Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a really long time since I did anything that wasn't a vlog or architecture related in a while. So today I thought it'd be fun if we sat down and recapped all of the books that I read during the month of June. So I have this massive stack of books right here to talk about. I think I kind of read a lot this month, actually. I think there is like a 5-star. No, there's 2 5-stars in here. So we're just gonna get right on into it in chronological order. I feel like makes the most sense. So the first book we're going to be talking about is A Song to Drown Rivers by Anne Ling. Oh my gosh, guys, this was a 5-star read for me. I originally wanted to film like a reading vlog, so I have like a couple clips of me like reading this book, especially like the ending. Oh my gosh, I was bawling my eyes out. Hold up, I'm gonna insert some clips. Y'all, it literally looks so bad, but I have to record me reading the last few pages of this book. Oh my god. I don't want to spoil too much, but the general story is this book is based off of one of the 4 ancient beauties of China. Her name is Xi Shi. I think that's how you pronounce it. And she is supposed to be like super beautiful. And so the general comes to her and basically proposes that she go and get married to the king of like the opposing like power. And so she is basically like a secret spy, and her job is to like seduce the king and lead him to make like these bad decisions that will eventually allow like her country to be able to take power from the king's country. We get to like follow her journey, and of course there's like a forbidden love aspect as well. And it's not really a love triangle because you know like who she's gonna end up with and who she really loves, but like both of the main leads are just so like lovable, and they all have moments where you're kind of like, oh, there's just something about like the yearning, the angst, the forbidden love aspect. I tend to give ratings on books based on how they make me feel, and as you can probably tell from those like clips of me reading it, like this made me feel all the feels. Yeah, I would totally recommend this book. I gave it 5 stars out of 5. And also, can we just talk about like, it's so beautiful. Like, the second book we're going to talk about is You May Now Kill the Bride by Kate Weston. I really like the cover and like the premise of it. There's this group of 5 friends, and one of them is getting married. So they all go on this like retreat for the bachelorette party. Then the bride-to-be is murdered. She dies. And then so they're all kind of like trying to figure out like who, like what happened. It's all told in 3rd person, but you follow like each of the different girls, and so you're given kind of like snippets of like what they know, what they don't know. I ended up giving this book a 3 out of 5, and I think the only reason why is because like I was hoping for a little bit more of like a sleuthing aspect. The plot kind of just like unravels itself, like the mystery, it's like it's not like super prominent. It's more so like following the main characters and like dealing with like all these deaths and like their secrets. So it's not very like enticing. Like it doesn't really like pull you into the story as much. I didn't really like connect with any of the characters really. I still enjoyed it very much, and it was like a good read, and it's also like not very long either. So yeah, that was the second book. The next book I picked up this month was Kristen Hanna's The Great Alone. This is the second Kristen Hanna book I've read. I wrote down that I gave the book a 4-star. This is kind of more of like a 3.5 star book to me. I don't really give like 0.5s because I'm like, that's just like too much work. But if I really had to like, you know, like it would definitely be like a 3.5. I actually am like a very big fan of historical fiction. Like that's one of like my top like 3 favorite genres. I just think like this book was a little too like, it was very long and it dragged on like a lot. It just kind of like took me a while to kind of get into. I didn't really know like what the main plot was, so I wasn't really sure like what I'm supposed to be like paying attention to. The dad is a POW who served in the Vietnam War, and they inherit some land in Alaska, so the whole family like moves to Alaska, and it's like them settling in and trying to survive through like the really rough winters, and it's just kind of like following her life there as she grows up. And obviously like the dad has some like trauma from like his experience in the war and how that affects his family and the way he acts and stuff like that. I think this book really like played with my emotions a lot. You want to feel a certain way towards like this character, but it's like the things that they do is just like you understand it, but at the same time it's like no, and like I don't know, it's just like very, very conflicting emotions. There's like a small bit of like romance in there between the main character and this other boy, but I think like the main highlight of this book was definitely like the community that this family finds in Alaska. It's just like my favorite parts were them like interacting with the other people in the town, and I really loved the way that the other townspeople really like came together for the main character and her mom. I will say like I was a little disappointed by the ending because it just felt like it got resolved like too, it's like they tied it up with like a pretty little ribbon and it was like that's it. I feel like if like that was like real life, like it wouldn't have ended that happily, or like that, like I don't know. Next up we have Caraval. We have this book by Stephanie Garber. Okay, I read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series first. I gave the entire series a 5-star, and then I found out afterwards that the Once Upon a Broken Heart series takes place after the Caraval trilogy, and I was not planning on reading this book at all. But I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna suck it up. I'm gonna read it. Caraval actually surprised me very much because it's not Tella's story. It's very much Scarlett's story, and I really loved like the whimsical like magical aspect of their world and like the entire game, and like having to think about like what is real, what is fake, like what's part of the game, what's not, like who's telling the truth, like the clues, like going from this place to that place. Like honestly, like that I loved like very much. It kind of gave me like the Inheritance games vibes, if you like understand. It's just kind of one of those like fun like mysteries type of, so I really liked like that aspects of it. The general vibe was really good, and I also really liked Scarlett. I think because like I am the oldest sibling in my family, like I gravitate towards Scarlett a lot. Her love story, oh my god, I don't want to spoil like who the love interest is, because I feel like that part is also kind of like it's not very clear in the beginning. It kind of like develops later on, but I called it from the beginning. I sensed it, and I was like, yes, oh my gosh. I'm actually like really sad that the next 2 books are more Tella focused. Like I've heard little things that make me kind of like want to read the rest of the series, because I'm just like curious, you know, like I'm just curious. I want to know the whole story, but at the same time, do I want to read about Tella? But yeah, I gave this book a 4-star. I think like it was really good. I would definitely recommend it. I just think it wasn't like blow my mind, that's why it's not a 5-star, but this was a really good read. Still debating whether I should read the rest of the series, so stay tuned. Okay, next up I have my first non-fiction book of like I feel like ever, and that is Tuesdays with Maury by Mitch Albom. I know a lot of people love it. I have had friends read it. I've heard so many people recommend it, which is why like it pains me to say that I actually like did not enjoy this book that much. I have it written down that I gave it a 4 stars. I feel like it's more of like a 3-star read for me. I can see why people would love this book so much. I can see why like it resonates with people. I think the problem that I had with the book is that it was a lot of like telling instead of showing, which is like, I understand that's like the premise of the book, because if you didn't know the premise, it's Mitch, he had this like teacher when he was in college that he really like connected with, but they ended up like losing touch, and then he finds out that his professor, which is like Mori, he gets ALS and he doesn't have much time to live anymore. So Mitch ends up reconnecting with Maury, and then they start meeting every Tuesday, and they just have conversations about like different aspects of life. I think that I just like read this book at the wrong like stage in my life. I can see why like Mitch, as like a 30-something-year-old who's kind of like struggling finding like where he wants to go in life, can like learn a lot from this, like these conversations. I can see why other people might, but I think like for me personally, like it just like didn't hit as hard as it would have, solely because like I'm still at such like an early point in my life, and I feel like I just need to like experience more of life, and in order to, you know, like really like be able to understand the lessons and like the things that like this book is trying to tell me. All right, the next book I read in the month of June, I am so excited to talk about. It is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su-Lin Tan. This was a reread for me. The first time I read it was like 2-3 years ago, and it was a 5-star when I read it back then, and this reread has elevated it to a 6 stars for me. Like, I don't even give 6-star ratings. I had to go into my Notion and create like a new like option to make this a 6-star, because I love this book so much. And you would think like going back and rereading it, knowing like what happens, like it wouldn't hit as hard, but no, it still does. All of the plot twists and like the characters and the settings, and I just like, I love this book so much. I highlighted so much, like literally if I could, I would have highlighted like every single word in this book. I love it so much. It follows this girl, her name is Singing, and she is the daughter of the moon goddess and Hoi, the warrior who shot down the suns. So there's a lot of like lore in here. Obviously you have like magic, gods, goddesses, there's monsters, there's demons, you have different realms, you have the mortal world. If anyone enjoys like C-dramas, you will absolutely love this book. It reads literally like a C-drama. Like it just keeps going on and on and on, and there's just like so many different arcs and like quests that they go on, and it is a love triangle. And honestly, like I love love triangles. Like love triangles done right, where there's not like a clear like winner, and it's like both of them are such good options, and like they both are so like good to her and care about her so genuinely, like all the way from the beginning. My one and only 6-star read, my favorite book ever. I will read this like 100,000 times. I'm gonna write all up over it, highlight everything through it. If you take one thing out of this video, it's please go read Daughter of the Moon Goddess. And this author, Su-Lin Tan, she's also releasing a new book soon. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so excited to read it. Like, oh, my favorite author, my favorite book of all time. Like, guys, please go read this book. Daughter of the Moon Goddess. Go right now. Last but not least, we have the book that I am currently reading right now, and that is A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn. I've seen this book go around on TikTok a lot, and I just felt like, considering like the general like current like political climate and state of the world, it's very important to look back in time and at history and reflect on like all the things that have happened and all the things that specifically like the United States has done, and like all the oppression that people have faced throughout like the centuries. Education is so important, especially like as we face all these things that are like currently going on in our world. So when I first picked it up, like, okay, the words are like so tiny, guys. I was honestly like really like taken aback. I was kind of like intimidated, but surprisingly like this book is actually like pretty like easy to understand, and I'm just like slowly like taking my time and like getting through it. It basically starts from the beginning of the United States when Christopher Columbus first discovers the Americas, and it tells like the history from then up until the 2000s, but through the eyes of the oppressed instead of the people who were like in power. And it really just kind of makes you rethink back on like the things that we were taught in schools and like the version of history that we were made to learn growing up, and it kind of just like opens your eyes to like how like what really happened, all the atrocities, like all the hardships that these people had to face. Man, even like talking about it makes me like kind of tear up. This is honestly like a really hard book to get through, especially like the first chapter. Like I was actually like sobbing. It was so like heartbreaking. I think like even if you don't read nonfiction books like me, like you should still try to give this book a chance. I just found out recently that there's like a version for young adults. So like if you know you think this book is like a bit much for you, like I would recommend like going to read like the young adults version, because I heard that one is also like really good. I'm still currently reading this book. I'm like a little over like halfway. I won't lie to you guys, I am ready for like a break and like an escape after this one, because it is like a really like hard read to get through, but very necessary. I would highly recommend like everyone like giving, you know, this book a try. And so we have come to the end of this video. These are all the books that I read in the month of June. Quite a hefty stack. I actually have a lot of like other books ready to be read, and I'm excited to make July as good of a reading month as June was. And I hope you guys are excited to see some more reading videos, hearing me talk about books. So yeah. It's been really nice sitting down and talking to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.